transparency, I had no idea RPAC even could or was willing to help fund or donate to a campaign until, I think it was Monday. I got a text from an agent that I've known for 20 years. She said, hey, I saw your signs, and did you know that we will support you? And I was like, that's great. Don't really need it. As a matter of fact, I'm self-funded. I'm not taking any contributions from anyone. So, I didn't even know that. Full transparency, I had no clue. Do I support them? I am blessed enough to have a pretty substantial staff that handles a lot of the back-end transactions and even some of the paperwork, office work, memberships, etc. I don't think I've ever checked the box. I don't know if we support it. I don't know if we pay or not. I would imagine that we do because we just went through a whole lot of changes in our real estate industry. I'm sure you guys saw it all over the news. So I know that we would probably need them in our corner when it comes to the national level of supporting us and fighting for us. But as far as any type of campaigning, no, I'm not accepting any. I didn't even know it was a thing.
Stay right there, Cal.
Okay.
Okay. So this question is, what is your vision for Johns Creek for the next 5 to 10 years down the road?
Tomorrow starts now. That's, everybody needs a catchy slogan for your campaign, and I loved it because I think there's a lot of things we need to do for the future of Johns Creek, but I think it needs to start now. We've talked about stormwater a lot. We've talked about 911 centers. We've talked about traffic congestion, and I just want to really move all of those things up to the forefront as fast as I possibly can. I love and a little envious of Tyler because he says it so eloquently that he sees a bigger vision for Johns Creek than many, and I share that. I wish I would have come up with it. I give him a lot of credit for that because I do think, yeah, we're number one, but we've got a long ways to go. How we're number one? We didn't even have Medley out of the ground. We're competing against Avalon. We're still number one. Why are we number one? It has to do with not anybody that sat on this council. No offense, you've done a great job. It's our community, it's our people, it's our teachers, it's our students. We're talking about and debating a lot of things that make a lot of people jealous. We're not talking about funding potholes. We're not talking about funding crime units. We don't have those problems. So yeah, we've got a great opportunity to take the best city in the nation's envy, and make it better. That's fun. We can do this. I am so proud of what's going on in Medley and coming out of the ground. In the event that the Performing Arts Center gets approved, I'm going to jump as far deep as I can into that to make sure it's the best possible scenario where we are actually making money, not losing money. But much to Tyler's credit, I think that we really do need to focus on our businesses and get better to where more people are drawn to Johns Creek and come in here and play in our backyard versus us going to Avalon, going to the Forum, going to Milton, or going to Gwinnett Arena. So absolutely, positively think Johns Creek is on a trajectory that's unlike no other because it's the belief I have, but I want it to happen fast.
Larry, what is your vision for Johns Creek for the next 5 to 10 years down the road?
So with the Medley, which is the catalyst that started everything about 3.5 years ago, the community spoke and said, we need a town center. We need an identity where we can come and live and play and basically do life. And so we went hard and heavy on the town center. Mind you, though, we didn't build Medley. They came to us. We were building the boardwalk. So we had a vision of taking the land behind City Hall and making it a place where we can actually meet, where 6,000 people can meet under a band shell and listen to a concert on a Friday night or Saturday night. From that catalyst, Medley, Mark Toro came over and said, I like this idea. I can do what we did at Avalon, bring it here. So it's all starting to tie together. But where do we go from here? I don't know if the Performing Arts Center is right for us. I don't know. You will make that decision for us. But I can tell you that people like GDOT has got visions for us. There is right now talk of heliports, where heliports, autonomous heliports on top of that, are being looked at in different places, in South Forsyth, possibly in Roswell, where there's going to be quick commuters to either Athens, Chattanooga, So we are growing, and our being diverse as far as culture-wise is a great strength that we have, because we have ideas from all different lifestyles and backgrounds. And technology, we can leverage the Boston Scientific and the outcome in different places to build that even further in health and welfare. That would be a beautiful thing. And I just think Johns Creek is on a great trajectory. I just don't want to lose the momentum.
Tyler, what is your vision for Johns Creek for the next 5 to 10 years down the road?
It's big and it's bold, but I believe we can do it. And I believe it starts with our residents and just keeping our connectivity. I would love to see in the next 5 to 10 years us using more of our parks for other sports, for other engagement, other activity, for our schools to continue to be number one, to continue to thrive, to continue to succeed. Our public safety, still, our officers loving working here. We're getting more officers here. We're a community that still continues to feel safe. And when people think of Johns Creek, they think that's the place I want to live. And they do that now. As realtors, I'm sure we've all experienced it. When you tell people where you live, they say Johns Creek. That's where we want to be. Like that. How did you get in there? It's almost like we have the best kept secret. I'd love for us to see more of our foot traffic in our local businesses. Like I've said time and time again, we're spending money here. If we're reinvesting our time and energy here with new opportunities, new dining, new restaurants that keep our residents engaged and don't have them going out into Roswell and Alpharetta or Duluth, that's the kind of place I want to see. I want to see our STEM programs in our schools continue to take it up a notch. We have the makerspace coming, but I'd love to see for our engineers, for those who are very technical, a lot of these corporations to start kind of like how they recruit D1 athletes, they start recruiting our engineers right here, Northview, Chattahoochee, Johns Creek. Like, we have the opportunity. It's here, guys. Like, we can continue to be the best place to live. We can continue to be the place of envy. And that's going to take us continuing to do some of the things we're doing well and also implementing new ideas that will get us looking forward into the future for the next 5 to 10 years.
Tyler, so this is, you'll lead this off with this question. What is your belief on less road construction in Johns Creek? Traffic is bad.
Traffic is awful, and a lot of it does have to do with construction. It is everywhere. GDOT has their footprint in a lot of our neighboring cities as well. I just drove through Dunwoody this morning and was stopped for 5 to 10 minutes just on a one-way road because of the construction. But for us there is going to be some uncomfortable growth. There's going to be some growing pains that we'll go through as a city as we grow. But I think if we lean more into technology, right? Let's be more efficient with traffic. I'm a firm believer that one of the ways that we can really get traffic handled quickly and now is syncing our lights with our neighboring cities. So it's going to take partnership, it's going to take collaboration, so that we are a city that a lot of our surrounding neighbors drive through. And so if we can sync those lights, keep that connection using the type of technologies that we have here, I think that can really make us more efficient, save time, save energy, and less waste. Some of these projects are taking a long time, and I'd like to see the turnaround time and cut into efficiency. The turnaround time be a lot faster, and just less aggravating on our residents. I know it's a thing.
Cal, what is your belief on less road construction in Johns Creek? Traffic is bad.
I don't really know how you get around less road construction. It's the inevitable beast that we all have to face when you're in any type of growing community. I actually heard a statistic yesterday, and I don't know if it's true or not, but our population in Johns Creek has decreased over the last few years. Probably not by any significant frustration, and this is a lot of the budgeting that I've looked at. You hear both sides of the aisle at parties, or the two mayoral debates, they're fussing at one another about how long projects take, and they're over budget and delayed, etc. I think that, like, again, the common sense of all of this is if we do start on a construction project, hold them accountable to the time frame. So, there is no, I get weather delays, and that's just an act of God. I get it. But when you're talking about, going over budget for any reason, I think that should be unacceptable. The other thing is, and this is notorious for Atlanta, who in this room can think, okay, a project just ended on 285 and one just started? So I think, again, tomorrow starts now for our city, is looking at the future and saying, okay, let's use some common sense here. Forget what we need 5 years from now in building for it. What do we need for the next 15 years, and go ahead and not throw good money at bad, saying we're just going to throw a Band-Aid on this or create something that this is only going to tackle for the next 2 to 5 years, but let's plan and go ahead and construct what's going to be good for us for the next 15 to 20 years. That will cut down a lot on the construction. Easier said than done, I'm sure.
Larry, what is your belief on less road construction in Johns Creek? Traffic is bad.
It is bad. It is bad, and unless we push forward, it's not going to get better, because Forsyth County is growing tremendously, and we have to use our T-SPLOST dollars as efficiently as possible. We have to hold some of the contractors more accountable. There was a T-SPLOST 1, and now we're in T-SPLOST 2. And so in T-SPLOST, basically there's intersection improvements, there's road expansions, and a whole bunch of other projects that are out there. A perfect example of this is McGinnis Ferry, from 141 to 400. 400's built at Cloverleaf, that's GDOT. But we had to work with Forsyth County, we have to work with Alpharetta, as well as GDOT and ourselves. We all contributed money. We contributed about $7 million to that project. The total project is about $80 million. And while I would like to snap my fingers and say, hey, let's get this thing done, the process that government has to go through as far as engineering phase, right of acquisition phase, and then breaking ground and moving forward, it's a very methodical process, and I agree with it just takes a long time. But I think we need to move diligently, and we need to move fast to move these projects through, because the pain will not go away. So maybe we could do a better job of coordinating, not all of them at one time, and we're sort of boxed in, but I think it's sometimes the way it all works out.
Okay, Larry, you're going to lead on this one. There's a lot of debate that the police and fire are understaffed. What are your thoughts?
That the police and fire are understaffed.
Understaffed.
Understaffed. Well, they're the experts. I have to rely on them. Part of the earlier conversation about a FOIA request for freedom of information we received was where the police chief said, no, not mixing words, he said, I have no choice but to request 4 new officers. These are not cadets that are not paid. These are paid officers with paid patrol cars. Bottom line, crime is increasing in Johns Creek. Nobody wants to talk about it, but it is. It's increasing in almost every category. So the police chief is like, I need more people. Bottom line, full stop right there. Medley's coming online in about a year for about 900 homes. We have Shake Rag, which is another, let's say 200, 189 homes. Those people need, we need to make sure that our ratios are properly calibrated between police and fire and residents. It's not just the number of residents to officers. There's a lot of variables there. I totally get it. But I've got to lean on the police chief and the fire chief to say, I need more people. And I'm not going to say no to them because I'm not the expert. And I have to believe that they wouldn't be years back, there was a shuffling of people. Roswell was stealing our police and fire individuals, and somehow we were able to kibosh all that, and we were able to keep that, because people were getting trained here and going there and work, because they were getting more money. So we sort of stopped all that.
There's a lot of debate that the police and fire are understaffed. What are your thoughts?
So my reason for joining the Public Safety Academy this summer was for that reason. I wanted to get in, ask those tough questions. I wanted to see and hear the pain points that our officers were having. And I can tell you, the turnover, it is real. That it is inevitable at this point because we have some really elite officers, right? And so part of that is if we're not paying them well enough, like you said, you're right, if we're not paying them enough, they are going to get recruited by these other cities. Hey, will you pay a little bit more? So we have to find, one, ways to incentivize our officers to stay here. That is what keeps us from bleeding out and losing our officers. I think in terms of revenue, I think we're all feeling it right now with the economy and the way that it is. And so what we can do is continue to have our officers love coming to work here, continue to provide them the resources that they need to do their job even more efficiently. If we can cut down on the time that they need to respond to a situation, the fire department, for them to respond to an emergency through technology or through community activism, and we have more input from our citizens, like the CAPS program, or joining the Public Safety Academy, I think we can do a lot to deter some of that pushback that we're seeing with our officers leaving. But I still believe very much holding that we are a safe city. I feel safe here. I love raising my kids here. This is all they know. And so when they go other places, they see the difference and they can feel the difference. And I want to continue Johns Creek on that path, but we're still always prioritizing public safety.
Cal, there's a lot of debate that the police and fire are understaffed. What are your thoughts?
Back in December at my house, we held a big party for it was a client event party. All of the clients we'd sold homes to all year. And we had like 70 to 100 people at our house, and I had a chef, and he was cooking something, and we had a kitchen fire. And we didn't know, he was in the basement cooking, and we didn't know for a while, and it was significant. House filled up with smoke. Thank goodness nobody was even there yet. However, the police were there so fast that it actually surprised me because I don't think I had gathered my thoughts yet, and then the fire trucks were right behind me. I didn't even think then about how quickly it was until I heard a recent stat, and I think the council talks about this and is very proud of this. Our average response time in Johns Creek for police, and I don't know, you're shaking your head, Bob, because and I could be wrong, you can debate this, correct me, but it was a minute and 3 seconds or something like that. Now, I know that the fire's not, so I don't know how to answer that question because, again, I don't have the knowledge that the council has. But this is just my personal experience and just the things that I've heard while attending council meetings. The one thing I absolutely would do is I'm 100% for funding to the point where I want our police officers to be the highest paid anywhere, and I don't want them to go. I want to get our pick of the litter because we are if we're going to be number one in everything, which I know and believe we feel we are, I want the number one police and fire. So I look forward to, in the event that I was to get voted into city council, is learning as much as I can from the police chiefs, who I absolutely agree are the experts, and looking to see what they need and hearing the validity and the reasons why they're asking for what they're asking for.
Okay, here's what we're going to do. Cal, you're going to lead off, and then Larry will go, and Tyler will go last. That's the order we've been keeping. But now we're going to give you 2 minutes to wrap up why you. So Cal, take it away. You got 2 minutes.
I think you've got an idea of who we all are. Again, I think you're going to win with any of us. I would certainly love to be that candidate for a lot of different reasons. The unity aspect of it, I'm still learning a lot. I mean, we had a conversation right before this
2 minutes. Why you?
Yes, first and foremost, you've heard us now, and I think we've been extremely transparent with each other here tonight and with you here. I think you'll have to ask yourself one question. You know, who do you feel can help fulfill your vision for Johns Creek? We're all pretty good. I think we can all move the city forward. We can push the agendas forward. But who are you going to believe when the lights go down and the work has to be done? And it's not tonight. I'm talking about 3-4 years down the road, because it's a heavy lift what we're asking here. Who do you think is going to be there for the fight? Ask yourself those questions, because you can't just wake up one day and say, hey, I'm going to decide to go on city council or try. I love the spirit of that, but you have to bring things to the table to be successful. Johns Creek is a great city. We are great people who live here. And I do believe that tomorrow can be better by working together, can be better than today. November 4th, you have to make a decision on the path as well as you have to make a decision on council. We are, the city's been cut in half by the council. I'm sorry. The city has been split by the performing arts, and we have to come together, because it is for the betterment of us as a city as we move forward. And I hope that in November 4th, I can be that bridge to keep going. It would be my honor to serve again for another 4 years. Thank you.
Tyler, why you?
So when I said earlier that I have been showing up, I meant that, and I do mean that. It's not ever going to change. When I say I want our schools to succeed, I serve in our schools. When I said I want to see the city grow and thrive, I was on the BZA. When I tell you that faith is so important, no matter what we agree or disagree with, our faith communities are so strong in this city. That's important to me. And that should be important to this community, and it has been. I've showed up in our parks, I've showed up in many different ways, in different areas, and I will continue that. I'm 32 years old, but I put in the time, because I said, it's not about me, it's about making this place that I live here better. So I have put in the time, I am invested, I am forward thinking, I am going to always keep the citizen in mind when I make any decision. I'm not running on politics. I'm not backed by anyone in politics. I'm not backed in a group. I'm not on a slate. I'm independent. But you have this young man who's so committed to seeing this city thrive. I hope that resonates with you. I hope you can feel my energy, my passion, and that when I sit there on that dais and I'm sitting there representing you, that I'm doing it because I don't care if you agree with me or not. What's important is making our city the best for you. I can work along with anyone, no matter who sits up on the dais, who's there on council, every which way or third, because it's always going to be about the people. It's always going to be about making our city better. That's what you get with me, and I hope to earn your vote on November 4th.
Ladies and gentlemen, I told you I didn't want to hear any applause. Now I'm going to reverse that request and ask you, please give these three candidates